Hey there, it's Clay. Today we're talking about 5 signs your ex is actually in love with you, but they're trying to hide it. These are going to be kind of sneaky things. Now we're going to start out with some of the ones that are a little bit more obvious at first, but towards the end we're going to get into some of the more nuanced ones. So please make sure you watch all the way through to the end because we want to make sure that we are getting a good read on your ex here. Alright, so once again we're doing 5 signs your ex still loves you, but is trying to hide it. So the first one is that they are either doing or saying certain things or wearing certain things around you that they know that you like. You know, like if there's a certain outfit that you just really like them in or something like that, and you see them showing up around you still, you know, wearing that or doing that or whatever, then they're probably trying to bait you into some sort of feeling of attraction towards them. And, you know, there's all sorts of things. You know, obviously wearing a certain outfit can do it. I had a client once who had a certain thing for when his woman would, you know, do something like this, and, you know, you could see like the arm and all that, and she would start doing that around him. There's all sorts of things like this that you can be on the lookout for that are a dead giveaway that your ex actually likes you, but they could be trying to downplay it in other areas. But if you see it through their behaviors, see it through their clothing choices, see it through some of their actions, then you can tell that that is one of the signs that they still like you. The second one is that they seem somewhat unimpressed by certain impressive things that you might be doing. Like if you just had some sort of big win in your life, you know, you just scored a contract, or you just did something really interesting, like bought a house for the first time, or did something like got in shape, lost a certain amount of weight, or, you know, lifted a certain amount of weight, or whatever it might be. You should probably take a victory lap first and foremost. But if your ex seems somewhat unimpressed by that, like they're restraining themselves somehow, then that is also them trying to hide the fact that they are kind of cheering for you. They don't want to seem too eager because there, of course, is a lot of advice out there that says, hey, you got to suppress, you got to dampen, you got to hide your emotions around your ex. I mean, you know this. You've probably seen all those other videos out there that are basically telling you that. I don't necessarily agree with that sort of advice, but a lot of people are getting that advice, and maybe your ex is as well too. So that is, of course, the second thing. The third thing your ex could be doing if they are in love with you but trying to hide it is, of course, playing mind games, reverse psychology, playing hard to get, all of that sort of stuff. Again, there's a lot of advice out there, a lot of so-called authorities out there that are advising you to do this. You know, we all want what we can't have, therefore you got to pretend like you don't like your ex. You got to be busy all the time so they have to chase you. You got to make it seem like you're dating 1,000,001 other people so that they'll get jealous and, I don't know, chase you or something like that. Your ex would only be playing mind games if they actually wanted to get a reaction out of you. They'd only be playing mind games if they wanted to cause a rise out of you. And so what we want to understand is that your ex is probably doing this because they love you, because they're still emotionally attached to you, and because they're still trying to feel that feeling of closeness with you. They want to elicit a response from you so that they can feel close to you in some way. And the main modus operandi, I guess you could say, of a mind game is that it allows you to stay close to someone, but also create a little bit of distance. So the two of you can sort of travel kind of together, but still a little bit apart. And if you notice that something like that is happening in the dynamic between you and your ex, then this is probably what's going on. This is probably what's happening. They're playing some sort of mind game with the intention of trying to pull you into, I don't know, play your hand, to confess how you feel, to get you to slip up in some way. Now, obviously, the best way to go about dealing with someone who plays mind games is to not play them back, not play into them. Simply call them out and refuse to opt into the mind game. That way you give them the opportunity to opt out themselves and to come clean with you and to actually create an emotional connection with you. Like, that's honestly the whole idea about what the X Solution program is all about. By the way, that church bell in the distance is reminding me, if you like this video, please make sure you hit the thumbs up button for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to this channel as well too. If you do subscribe, please make sure you hit the bell icon, just like that church over there, so that you can get notified when we publish and upload new content. Also, I like to live stream a bit, so I'd like to be able to catch you on a live stream as well too, so you can ask me some questions in the live chat. We can have a little back and forth maybe. But you're not going to necessarily know if I'm going live unless you hit that bell icon. So please make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon. Anyway, the next sign that your ex still loves you but is trying to hide it is that they are doing things to try to get you to play your hand. Now, they're not necessarily playing mind games here, but they're doing things to try to get you to play your hand, to provoke you in some way. They are maybe telling you something like, hey, I'm considering going out on a date with someone, or I am putting up an online dating profile, or hey, so-and-so told me that they're interested in me, or so-and-so wants to set me up, or that guy over there, he just asked me out, or something like that, because they're trying to get a rise out of you emotionally and get you to play your hand, because maybe they want to see if they can get you to open up and confess how you feel, to see if that actually matches how they feel, because for one reason or other, they can't necessarily read where you're at, and so that causes them to feel a little bit of insecurity, a little bit of fear. And if they are able to compel you to confess how you feel, then they're going to know where you stand with them, and that's going to maybe give them a little bit more confidence in how they're feeling in that moment. Again, if they're doing something like this, that is where that is all coming from. And the last sign that we're going to be covering today is that your ex will actually discourage you. This can be confusing and surprising for some people out there. But if your ex is actively discouraging you by telling you things like, oh, you're too good for me, or we'd never work out, or you should just go out and date other people. We should just call this quits and move our separate ways, or something like that. If they're discouraging you, and this is also happening within the context of the two of you connecting on an emotional level, then they're still in love with you. Now, if they're just discouraging you in general and they're upset at you, they're angry at you or something, that's an entirely different thing. But if they're discouraging you and the two of you are connecting, then that's a very big sign that they're still in love with you and trying to hide it. What's happening here is that they are testing you to a certain degree to see how serious and genuine you are about the emotional connection that you're having with them. They don't want to go through the process of having to tell people that they're dating you again, or ending a rebound relationship or something like that, if you aren't that serious. So if they say, hey, you should just go date someone else, and you're like, okay, great, I'll see ya, I'm just gonna go over here and date that person. And then they're just gonna breathe a huge sigh of relief and say, whew, thank goodness I didn't get my hopes up on that. Thank goodness I didn't take action on that. Thank goodness I didn't tell my mom and dad that we're seeing each other again. Thank goodness I didn't break up with that rebound relationship again, because you weren't serious. And if I actually stuck my neck out there, I would have gotten hurt. They're doing this to protect themselves. They're doing this because they're wanting to get some sort of affirmation that you actually want this too. Because if you're willing to fight for it, then they're going to feel a little bit more confident taking that step forward in order to bring the two of you closer together. Anyway, what I want you to do next is I want you to check out this video series right over here on your ex's 5 emotional stages of getting back together. These 5 stages outline your ex's unique emotional experience. They explain a lot of your ex's confusing behavior, and they will let you know where your ex is going to head next. So please go ahead and check out this video series next, right up here. Take care, and I'll see you over there.